Hey guys, welcome to this video. We're going to move on to that final color grade now. Let's go. Okay guys, so let's have one more play. Let's take out the warp from here, start from scratch and see if we can get a nice teal and orange, more reddish. So take these clips out. So okay, it's quite a subtle look. Let's try taking out a little bit of saturation in some other colors. I'm going to keep the skin tones on that skin line. Okay. Quite like that. I quite want to lift up the blacks a bit. Let's check out the waveform. So we could just use offset here and drag everything up. Let's try a low soft. It's quite nice. And I could try a saturation change at 146. Let's just have a little look. Okay. I want to take out a little bit of contrast. I want to add some of that mid detail back, I think. Let's put too much in and then pull it back. Let's look at the temperature and the look correction. Now let's check the lift. White is looking quite good there. Black is looking pretty good, I think. Don't want it to look too orangey. Let's check the vector scope. So let's check where the skin is on that. It's a little bit high, it's a little bit towards red. So I may try and pull the gain away from red a little bit. Or maybe I'll try the vector scope. Let's see where my reds are. Put a little bit towards red. There we go. It's a bit too yellowy. Check where skin is. I'll zoom in a bit. It's coming a little bit more towards red, so I'm putting it, I'm going to put A bit back. I'm saying it's more accurate, but it's starting to look a little bit yellowy to me. So maybe I need to add a little bit of magenta or something. Let's try. I need to pull a little bit of the saturation out, perhaps. Okay. So the Vectorscope is saying it's quite a good skin tone, which it is, but I feel like it should be a little bit more red. My look. Too much. Let's call it in the middle, about here. Okay. Let's minimize that. I just feel it's a little bit dark in places now. So let's just pull up the gain a bit. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that now. Okay guys, so I'm happy with this edit. Let's try it on the outdoor scene, which will be a bit of a test. And yeah, that's looking quite good. Let's just check the exposure here. It's a little bit dark in places. But it's not too blue like the other one. Let me lift the offset up a little bit here. And quickly have a look in the HDR. We can play with the specular areas a little bit. See if there's anything maybe in the highlights, exposure. Just to play with the sky a little bit. Okay. So yeah, I think it's a good look. It's nice. And yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Let's have a quick look at maybe, would I want to put a little bit more reds into it, maybe when I'm outside? Yeah, probably. I could play with that a little bit. But for a start, I think it's good. And we can make some small adjustments for like these outdoor clips where I might want to just play with the offset a little bit to add a little bit more kind of sunset-y vibes. But for now, I'm happy with this. Okay guys, so we're happy with how this color grade is looking. We've tried it on later clips, outdoor scenes, and we know it's looking good, but we can do a few little tweaks now with those log tools and other tools just to add a little bit of finesse to it, and it's all going to be down to your personal taste. So let's go back to the teal and orange look. Now we want to be in log, and we can play with some extra red, maybe try some blue in the shadow. You can just find a color that you really like. And guys, you can spend a little bit of time with this. Let's go into the look correction, and I'm going to pull up the waveform, and I want to get this bottom level kind of balanced. It's quite balanced now guys, but look, that red is just a little bit below, the green's a little bit higher. in these very dark areas. So let's just lift up the red a little bit in the shadows. Look, and now it's getting a little of a white bar there, so that should be quite good. And let's maybe pull the green down a little bit, just try and get it nice and black. So yeah, we've got a fairly white bottom bit there, so that's quite good. For our black levels, eyes looking quite black, so I'm happy with the blacks. And all the other colours are looking quite good, guys. We could play around with it a bit more. Let's go into HDR. Let's look at this. The whites, they look okay to my eyes, like these white areas. Yeah, the red is a little bit peaking in the white. So if I go to the specular and then just pull the red down a bit, and notice how it's now turning into kind of a white bar. So the very white bits are more white now, which is good. I could try it with the highlights as well, just a little bit. Okay, so we got good whites on the dress and here. And yeah, so I think the look is coming on quite nicely, guys. Let's pull this down. I'm just going to quickly check let's check the scopes, the vector scope. It's still a bit red, but I'm quite happy with that rose-colored glasses look. And let's go back to primaries, check the waveform. So it's a little bit high here, guys. I could probably pull down my blacks a little bit. Let's go into the log wheels and just pull the black down a little bit. There we go. Okay, just play with the midtone on the log wheel a little bit. That's fine. Highlights. Okay. Now, let's just check. Contrast is looking quite good. Pivot. Okay, guys, so I could check my look correction node and just have a little play with the offset. Maybe pull it down a little bit towards green, see how that's looking. And yeah, maybe a little bit away from red was good. Let's try undo and then redo. No, I liked it red, that was fine. Let's just check the log wheels. So going around here into the green in the midtones was quite nice, just balancing out the colors a little bit. You can see that red is very much lifted from the green, which is kind of the look that we're going for, but we could experiment with the logs, just pulling it back a little bit. And the shadows. Okay. Now I can see the red shadows a little bit off, and my shadows are a bit too high. So where's my log wheels? Let's bring them back down again. And then look, we've got to get rid of that red again, so let's lift it up. That's fine. Okay. So I'm quite happy with that look, guys. Let me just check my primaries, maybe drop the exposure a little bit. Increase the midtones a little bit. I'll just check my saturation. Check my temperature a little bit. That's fine. Pump the contrast a little bit. Okay, guys, so I'm quite happy with those corrections don't necessarily feel like you have to copy this look in particular. It's going to change obviously from camera to camera and from sometimes wedding to wedding. It is good to have like some consistency to find a look that you like, and then to have like a similar sort of Instagram feed so people kind of know what they're going to get. But yeah, more importantly than just following exactly the settings that I dialed in is to understand the process so you can make something that works well for you. So just remember, we're going to build the look, we're going to build the correction. You can change that hue saturation and hue luminance curves and have a play with the color warper. And bringing that all together, we're going to get hopefully a nice corrected look where the whites are still white and the blacks are still black, and there's something artistic and funky that suits your style going on in the middle. And guys, this is just the beginning. We're gonna move on from here, looking how to edit this look with glow and halation, and then separating parts of the image with tracking. So it's just the first step. And guys, in the next videos, we're gonna go into making this a more dynamic and interesting image. See you soon. Hey guys, so in this video I want to introduce to you the glow effect. Now, the glow effect can give a nice organic look to an image. It can sort of break down a digital feel of an image, and it can add a nice glow by bringing the bright areas and sort of glowing them out into the dark areas. And the dark areas tend to get a little bit darker, which can add a bit more contrast to an image. It doesn't always work, guys. It can make an image a lot worse, especially in a strong backlit situation where you don't want the dark image area to get more dark. But most of the time, we can add a nice organic-y feel to our images with the glow effect. So I'm going to demonstrate that to you now with some of my old work. So guys, this is obviously a very tight close-up of a bride getting her makeup done. And then when we add the glow, wow, it really did some magic to the image. Look at that. Just pops out the bit of brightness from her nose, and it sort of darkened the edges, and it really added a nice 3D sort of feel to this. So let's dive into the settings here. And guys, getting the glow effect looking right for a wedding can be a little bit tricky because there's so many different attributes. So I'm just going to say, why don't you just copy these, because obviously these are sort of nailed in. So guys, there's a lot of different attributes for applying the glow. And I'm just going to recommend that you guys just copy this down now, and it will save you a lot of faffing around. So I suggest put a node in. Remember to add one before we press Shift S. Hit the effects, search for glow, and drag that onto the node, and it's going to give us these options. I'm going to delete that because I don't need it twice. Okay guys, so if you want to just copy me exactly, I'm going to read these out to you. So you can pause the video, set up your glow node, and I'm just going to read out to you my exact figures as we go down. That might be the easiest ways for this, guys. And guys, I'm just going to jump straight to one point. You really want to choose a soft light composite mode, and there's quite a few here, but the one that's really going to work well for a wedding film is soft light. And if you've got that, you can probably play around with these other attributes and get it working in the end. But if you just want to copy mine, you're more than welcome. So let's just go. So shine threshold, I've put 0.376. Alpha masks light sources, I've got on. Alpha limits effect, I've got off. Spread, I've got it to 0.459. HV ratio, I've got it down to minus 0.376. Relative spread red, I've got it at 0.844. Relative spread green, I've got it at 0.826. I would probably actually, seeing that, I would probably just keep these all the same. I'm going to keep them at 0.826, just so there's no change in the colors here. And guys, I just want to show you this HV ratio. It can give you kind of anamorphic sort of effect here. We can pull it across and it will just, the glow will spread to the sides, which is quite interesting, but normally I'm going to just keep that to where it was. Minus 0.339, and it doesn't matter exactly where that bit is. But guys, it's just interesting to see there's a kind of cool anamorphic effect there. But that's more for like a sci-fi film, guys. It's not going to work for a wedding. So keep your relative spread, you know, around the same. Color and composite mode. Gain, I've got it at 0.991. Gamma, I've got it at 1.279. Color filter, I've just got white. If you were going to change it, make sure it's in line with your film colors. So I'm kind of, but I'm just going to keep it at white. Glowing frame, I've got reflecting camera. And composite type soft light, that's important. Opacity, I've got it at 0.5, but that's a nice way of changing the power of this effect. Seems to be similar to a global blend. So you can change opacity. I'm going to keep it at 0.5. Bright region recovery, I've got it at 0.312. It stops things getting too blown out, probably. Yeah, so 0.312 was nice. And then global blend, that can change. That can be an easy way to adjust the effect on an image. I've got it at 0.569 here, but you can make it stronger or weaker by playing with the global blend. So for this image, and you know, I've got it at 0.569. So guys, you can use my exact figures there if you like. You can also have a little play with it. Just remember to hit the soft box and then play around. And then that can be like a standard node. So let's copy that again. I'm going to press C. I'm going to go across to my project manager, first wedding film. And then let's add a glow effect. So I'm going to press Alt S for another node. I'm going to press V to paste that. And now we brought the glow in. And let's see how it looks if I make it stronger, weaker. So you can see, guys, you can use the global blend to apply the glow stronger or weaker once you've got a nice setting dialed in. So I'm going to keep it, where did we have it before? 0.449, that's nice. And guys, you don't necessarily want to change the glow for all of your images in a film because you've got like 300 or more images. So it's nice just to have a sort of dialed in subtle effect similar to halation, like a subtle sort of level which adds a nice dynamic pop to the image, but it's not something that you're going to have to change for every image. There are going to be some images where you do need to turn the glow off. As I mentioned, if you've got a very bright background, let's try and find a sample of that. Okay guys, so here's an example of a difficult lighting situation where if we had the glow on full power, it's sort of blasting out too much of the light areas and making this side a bit too dark. Obviously we could pull the global blend down and find somewhere that kind of works. But in general, if it's totally backlit like this with a very strong light, then I might just not use any glow at all. And guys, look, you can see the details on her face come out quite well. I'm quite happy with this shot for a strong backlit image. And just remember guys, in a scene like this, we can't let the camera choose the setting. We can't put it at plus 1.7 or plus 2 and expect it to come out well. We really have to be making sure we're using the zebras to expose her face properly. So that's just a little plug to check out the shooting log footage on a wedding day video. See you soon guys. The next video is just going to be a quick easy one. See you in a bit.